Mine. His name is Grizzly. That's what we call him. He sent me a message and he said, "Let's go sailing to the island." So I'm down in Galway at the Claddagh, which is like a second home to me. And we're going tomorrow. We're going to take his boat, go out onto the lake, Loch Corrup, and then go to the island in the middle of the lake. And trust me, it sounds like such a special thing to do. I can't wait.
Steer it from your phone from the shore. Yeah. 100 quid.
Will I take one of you?
Yes.
Big enough, yeah. Big enough, yeah. Yeah. It's the shape of a bucket, but big enough. Nice one, alright. Thank goodness we've got the cans. Island of the officers. Hey, on the lake with a boat. Oh yeah. He has a rib, a big rib. How many horsepower is that?
Onto the island in the middle of the lake. Beautiful spin on the boat. What I loved about it was every time you took a picture, the light changed so much that you could take the same picture twice, but it looked like a completely different scene. Beautiful experience. I've gone looking for a camping spot. This is where I'm going to put my tent. Each of us have found a secluded area where we feel comfortable. I'm also going to have a nice... I'm totally thrilled with myself. I have my little friend here. He's decided to follow me around a little bit, which is nice. He's decided that whenever I go there, I'm going to where his owner is staying. So he travels with me to get up and down. A little bit of safety. He's a beautiful dog. It's getting dark and I'm trying to set up the tent before it does, because we had to wait for better weather. I found a small little church, an old Christian church here on the island. Well, last night was a fantastic night. We had a fire and there were a few other people with boats. We all got together and had some drinks and chat, the kind of which you wouldn't film. I didn't want to take out the camera, because when you do, at times like that, it's cringing. It's like nobody wants it. Nobody wants you to start taking out the camera and filming the party. But trust me, last night was something special. There was Yvonne, who's with us, German girl, and she seems to have understood the funniness of the time. She laughed non-stop. It's fantastic. What I discovered on my walk, the remainders of the graves of the last community of people who lived here. There were people living on this island up until the 60s, I'm told. This is their village, their church and their graveyard. Must have been amazing to live on the middle of the lake on an island. I'm in one of the little churches, the one right next to the graves, and I'm thinking, on a small island like this, I think there's 100 acres and a small community. It must have been so heartbreaking when one of the community died and they had their funerals in this little church. And although the funerals were Christian, they must have been laced with ancient paganism rituals as well. I mean the funerals. And you know, from what people have told me about this island, there was a boat builder here and there was different industries. You had to have been very resourceful if you wanted people to come from the mainland to an island in the middle of a lake to do business with you? What type of people were these? You know? And there's an EU fund and there's a whole, force within the EU that today tries to keep island life alive. So somebody in the politics of the EU has figured out that these people were special. And indeed, people living on islands anywhere in the world, it does take a sense of commitment and resourcefulness to survive on these islands. I'm just realizing that now on this trip. Maybe that's what trips are. Maybe that's what traveling is about. Because they say that travel is the real education. So I suppose I'm just finding myself here thinking about how heartbreaking it was. The funerals on this little island in the middle of Loch Corrib in Galway. When I think about funerals on this island, just there looking at the graveyard on my walk, the one thing that hits me as well is imagine the funeral, the death of children here on the island. That must have been devastating.
These are lovely trees now.
Yeah.
The old oak trees and the old...